Welcome to a very special edition of Prosecco and Nuts. We are on location today at Untitled Champagne Lounge, and I'm super excited to introduce my friend, master creator, and owner of this lounge, Nate Newman. Thank you so much for having us, Nate.
Thank you for being here.
So tell us a little bit about the concept of this lounge and the space, the decor, the concept of it.
It all kind of started back when we opened up the Derek next door cocktail bar, gin bar, and in all honesty, we stumbled on this place by mistake. So we came over here, had a little bit of a function, wanted to store some tables, and discovered this beautiful 2,000 square foot space. And immediately I was like, I have to do something here. So started kind of figuring out what the next concept was going to be. Did a little trip to New York with a bartender of mine, and we knew at that point we wanted to kind of focus on champagne. Something celebratory. We feel like the economy is going to get back to where it used to be, and people are going to need a reason to celebrate. And I wanted to make sure that they celebrate here. So as we went to New York, we discovered that 20% of every serious cocktail bar out there was bubble-based cocktails, and that was it. So that was really how we came up with it.
It is. Everyone knows I love bubbles. It's perfect. I don't know why I'm not here more often.
I think that's going to change after this episode. So tell us a bit about it now. Again, you stumbled onto the space. How did you end up stumbling onto the name Untitled Champagne?
That is less of an interesting story. We really just couldn't come up with a name. You're dealing with something like champagne. It's such a prestigious, it's probably the most rich spirit you can deal with. And if we couldn't find a fitting name for it, we decided let's just not name it at all. And that kind of stuff. We started joking around about it just being untitled, and that's what worked.
Yeah, we were joking about this before we even started filming. Even just to find the space,
yeah,
it seems like it's almost untitled. Like, is it even registered? You almost have to know someone to be here, kind of thing. So
I know, and I love that idea. I love it. Like, you just have to look. When you're coming up to this place, you just need to find the light that's outside, and it's
look
awesome.
for the light.
I think
That's
it's
right.
awesome. The light in the wood. Yeah.
well, let's dive right into it. You brought some bubbles out here for us.
Yeah.
First and foremost, before we get into the specific brands that we're looking at, tell us a bit about champagne itself. Like, what actually differentiates champagne from any other sparkling?
Well, first of all, we're not just champagne bars. So we have about 90 different types of bubbled bottles. We have cava, we have prosecco, we have cremant, we've got regular sparkling. So bubble-based cocktails, just bottles are from all over the world. Champagne specifically is where it was created, some would say, and it's a different method, and it has to be from a specific region. So what you're going to find is, more than not with champagne, you're going to find 1 to 2 extra steps, and you're going to find that it is much smaller bubbles, and it's more well done.
Okay. All right. Well, let's dive into some of them here. I think you brought out some that were along the lines of unique to this space. Some that were probably some of your best sellers, and of course, being on Prosecco and Nuts, I know we're gonna get the Prosecco.
Absolutely.
How about we start in this end? So what we have here?
Let's start here. So this is a 2004 vintage Paul Roger Winston Churchill. So this is a bottle that is very limited amount of allocated product in the city. We decided to bring it on. It is a very high price point, but again, you're not going to find many of these in any country in the world. So this was specifically made after a vintage that Mr. Winston Churchill drank, and he was a big Paul Roger drinker himself. Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is one of my favorites. Rosé is everything these days, it seems.
I know. Yeah.
It's great. I'm now a very fond fan of rosé champagnes, and this is probably my most favorite that we actually carry. It's a Bollinger Rosé. It's very robust, heavier champagne. Unlike ones you'll see, they're darker, and you'll find that a lot of people are used to some of the lighter kind of notes and more citrus elements. This is breadier. It's, like I said, a little more robust and deeper. So one of my favorite champagnes.
Ooh. Well, I think you and I have similar tastes when it comes to champagne and bubbles, so I'm going to have to try that.
You're going to have to try it.
Okay, now let's get into Prosecco.
Prosecco. So I brought our house Prosecco. It's a standard Prosecco. We sell it like crazy. It's in majority of our cocktails. So a lot of our cocktails are going to have some sort of bubbles to it. It's probably one of the more sold items, but largely because the price point's a little bit lower. So our price point's $38 for a bottle like this, and they range obviously much higher once we get to that point. I brought a Prosecco that is my favorite. Now, I prefer champagne, but if I am going to drink Prosecco, this is called Vaporetto, and it's Italian, obviously, as all Prosecco is, and it's a DOC. So DOC basically means that it's very similar to the way the champagne method is in comparison to not French champagnes that aren't champagne. So this is had to be proven methods, certain regions of Italy, and much better Prosecco often, some would say.
Good.
Now, what's your price point on something like that then?
You're still looking about $45, so
Yeah.
still very inexpensive.
Yeah, that's great.
So, other than now that we talked about some of the bubbles and the champagne, what are some other drinks you guys serve on the menu? Say someone who not into the bubbles or champagne, what else do you serve, and what would you recommend?
Well, we serve everything. So I mean, we have a great selection of Scotch, whiskeys, rums.
Scotch.
But I mean, much like the Derrick is a gin bar, it's a cocktail bar first. So Untitled, as much as a champagne bar, we're actually a cocktail bar that focuses on champagne. So the good majority of the cocktails you see at the top of the page, we just call it a spritz. And we do, I think, about 8 different original creations that are spritz and bubble based. We do 2 champagne cocktails that are done tableside, and then we have a good selection of about 10 different that are not champagne at all to give as options for people.
Sounds great.
There's food involved in this.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So some of the food that you have, did you create or the menu that you have for the food, is it comparable, like is it compatible with the champagnes, or is there something that you recommend with certain type of bubbles?
Well, I mean, champagne's one of those amazing spirits. It's when in doubt bubbles is kind of the slogan that we have here for the most part. So almost any food will pair well with champagne.
That's what I say.
That's what I
I
say.
drink everything with bubbles.
One of the things, it's always hard to answer questions on food in this location. My chef here changes the menu weekly. So we never actually know, but there is a few staples. We do caviar here, so we actually do Northern Divine, Canadian sturgeon caviar. He does it classic Russian style with a couple modifications. So the onion and shallots is actually lychee onions and what did I just say there? Lychee onions and shallots, and then the egg yolks are actually bacon washed.
Wow.
Yeah. And then ice cream we do tableside.
Wow.
So we bring out a cart and he does an ice cream sundae and liquid nitrogen makes the ice cream right in front of you. And again, I don't know what the ingredients will be from week to week in regards to the ice cream sundae, but he does things like score bars and stuff like that, all made in house.
Wow, that's awesome. Drew and I were recently here,
Yeah, we were just.
and we had the best time. Like, and not only was it just Prosecco, but which I love, that you got me a Prosecco to get me here. But the food was awesome. The food was so amazing. It's not what you'd normally go to as something from any other lounges that you would go to, but I love the variety and I love things like that. So I think it was great. I love the menu. And I love that you guys changed it. I think it's wonderful.
Asian French would be the best way to describe it. Small tapas bites.
Yes, perfect.
What is the most expensive bottle you guys have here?
I brought that. So we actually have.
Woo! Look at that, you guys!
So Cristal is one of my absolute favorite champagnes.
Oh my god, mine too.
When I proposed to my fiance, I actually savored a bottle of Cristal right after. This is an 04 vintage, so just about to peak, and it's a 3 liter, and this is about just shy of $9,000.
Oh wow.
Okay, wait.
Special night for this one.
That would just be for you.
That would just be for
There you
me.
go. Touched it.
Party by myself.
Beat you to it.
Wow, well, I think that's so great. Nate, I'm so happy for you, and I've known you for such a long time, and back Ubu days, Black Betty,
Betty days.
Derrick Gin Mill, I love it there, and this I think is going to be my new favorite spot.
Going
So,
to be?
I think
after
I'll
this
be
last
here.
weekend.
You should become part owner.
Yeah, I know.
Before we even close off on that, though, let's talk a bit about the entertainment.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I guess right behind us we've got the DJ booth as well. And you actually have reigning, well, I shouldn't say reigning, but Red Bull 3-style champion that actually DJs here for you on the weekends.
Absolutely, yeah. No, we have the unbelievably humble Rick Cruz, so
Yeah.
C6
and
is awesome.
he's
Yeah.
great. You know, we actually discussed this place almost a year before it actually opened. So he's planned all that side of the entertainment. So in regards to DJs, it's totally different though. It's very loungy. It's not a nightclub feel to it.
Right.
Totally a place you can dance, but at the same time, if you want to hang out, chill, and drink, that's the kind of vibe too. Thursday nights we do live jazz. So we have Dan Madley duo with John. Can't remember his last name. Cut that part out. So anyway, the Dan Madley duo, and she's great. She sings things like Billie Holiday, Frank Sinatra, and that's a really cool event. That's 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night, and then we do random events. For example, this coming up Wednesday, we're doing a burlesque show as well.
So typically, when are we open?
Thursday through Saturday, outside of when we do burlesque shows, different live performances, but it will always be live performances between Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Okay, and then the doors open at
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, and we go straight through till 2 o'clock.
You got it.
Lots of time to get bubbles in.
Yes.
Yes, that's a lot. That's plenty. So Thursday to Saturday.
What's your official address here?
104 628th Avenue.
You're not gonna find it until you see the light. Just walk past the light.
Lights on or open.
Yeah, look for the stanchion.
So all of our viewers out there, please come by and check out this beautiful space. The decor is awesome. The champagne, of course, you know, is my favorite. I love it here. Please come see Nate and all the amazing service here and the staff here. Come try it out. Thank you so much, Entertainment Calgary and Prosecco and Nuts. Thanks for having us.